What's up, guys? So, this is a bit of a different video from what I've been posting lately, but more in line with some of my original content. So, yep, as you can see here, I'm replaying a conversation here between a customer and I. So it goes, "Good morning." Anyway, you guys can read it. So, basically, a guy asks me if I have some firewood for sale. So, I said yes. And, then he asks price. So I tell him $150 a cord, and he tells me the going rate is $100 a cord. So can I do a better deal? And I said, nope. And then he says, okay, well, I'm going to come over and get it anyway, but could I have exclusively hardwood? Because you're driving a hard bargain. That's not true, but I said, yeah, sure. So anyway, um, I sorted some hardwood, and I gave him over two faced cords of it, and I gave him two face cords of it, and I offered to deliver it for $60, and he didn't want to because he was too cheap. So he rented a trailer for $60, and he came to get it. And he lives fucking downtown. He lives like fucking 45 minutes away. So he went and he rented a trailer, and the first Home Depot that he rented it from didn't have one. And then he had to go to another one to rent another one. And then he had to drive all the way here. So that took like an hour, over an hour, just to get here one way. And he paid $60 to rent the trailer plus tax. He paid more to rent the trailer than he would have paid for delivery. And if we would have delivered it to him, we would have, done the work. We would have loaded it up into the trailer, we would have driven it to his house, and we would have fucking dumped it in his driveway. And if he was cool with us, we probably would have even stacked it for him. But, so here's the thing. This guy came right out of the gate, fucking swinging. Not even asking for a better deal, but telling me that the market price was 30% or 33% lower than what I was charging. Now, the funny thing is that right above my ad, when you click Firewood on Kijiji, the first ad is a paid ad, and that's from Rona Hardware, which is like a chain hardware store around here. And that's the only place other than private sellers. And I'm talking about firewood companies too. I'm not counting them as private sellers. I'm talking exclusively like black market dealers, like me. So everybody is out of firewood except for the black market dealers. And regardless, the only place that you can legitimately buy it is at the hardware store. So there's an ad right above my ad. It's a paid ad, and it sells half of a face cord for $120 plus basically $30 delivery. I sell a full face cord for $150 plus $30 delivery. So I'm selling twice as much as what the hardware stores are selling for only $30 more, or 25% more. It should be minimum a 100% price increase. Minimum, because I cannot possibly hope to compete or undercut the big companies. I just can't. They have huge means of production, and yes, they have big overheads and stuff like that, but it costs them nothing, and it takes them no time to split 10 cords of wood. Whereas me, it would take fucking 10 days to do that shit. And long hours a day, every day, and then I have to load it up in my trailer and I have to bring it around, and it's fucking wear and tear on my vehicle, not to mention the time it takes. So no, I have to charge a little bit more, but I'm doing well. I'm very competitive. I'm charging fucking way less than half of what the only other guys are charging. So this guy, he comes out swinging and he tries to lowball me, but no. So I give him hardwood, and I pick through the pile, and he comes over, and I show it to him, and I explain it to him, and then I smack a couple of logs together, and he agrees. So we load it up into his trailer, and at the very end, after I help him load it, then he pays me. And then he tells me it hurts. It's like, well, it hurts to part with this money. It's like, yeah, fuck you, buddy. So people think you have to capitulate to customers. You don't. If I capitulate to this guy, he's going to tell all his dipshit friends, and he's going to brag to them, and they're going to come to me too. If I don't, if I tell him to fuck off, he's going to tell all his dipshit friends, and they're going to fucking leave me the fuck alone. Now, he started complaining. His main beef that was that the wood apparently was not split long enough ago. But like that was he didn't even ask me on the exchange when it was cut. But I say on my ad when it was cut. You know, it was cut 6 to 12 months ago. But then he starts getting into this whole thing. When was it split? It's like, yo, dude, like that's irrelevant. I didn't sell it to you based on when it was split. And he starts fucking freaking out because he assumes that, like, you know, he says he pays top dollar for the wood. Top dollar, fuck. You didn't even pay market price, motherfucker. You're just a cheap fucking bastard. And it was for his cabin. So this is where it gets good, okay? So he sends me one piece of wood. He sends me a picture of one piece of wood. And he's like, look at that. It's like, what am I looking at here? I see a fucking piece of wood. What the fucking problem is? And apparently it was so fucking wet, you know, and any expert knows that it's just so wet and it's unburnable. Be that as it may, let this be a lesson to you guys before you guys fucking cuck out too fast to your customers. That's one fucking log. One fucking log. One log among 500 logs that I gave this guy. It might even not be a log that I gave him. It might be, but it might not be. Now, there's also a reason he took a picture of just one and sent me just one. Because probably there weren't very many. Otherwise, you know, he would have taken the fucking time. Now, even if this log were unburnable, according to him, there are other things you can do. Like cut it in half with an axe. Now, you can't expect for him to know this because he was a professional tree faller for some 10 years or so, but he can't figure out how to burn a fucking piece of wood. So yeah, I know you guys are gonna get mad at me, you fucking Arbo Nazis, and you fucking communist lumbersexuals, and all you union simps. You're gonna say, he's not doing things by the book, and you know, you deserve to be reported. Or, you know, I never, you know, everyone knows that, you know, if the grain is, it's like, yo, dude, like, shut the fuck up, man. It's wood, it fucking burns. I got into this fucking business of using a fucking wood burning stove when I had no fucking money several fucking years ago, and I was pillaging fucking dumpsters at 3 in the morning looking for fucking pallets, anything that I could fucking throw in there. I would soak newspapers and throw them in the fucking wood stove. I got a tip from the city about all the trees that were freshly cut down that they tossed into a dumpster. Entire fucking trees, man. And me and Mark snuck there at fucking 2 in the morning, and we dove into the fucking dumpster at City Hall, and we tied fucking ropes around these massive fucking 15-foot tall logs that might have been a foot and a half thick. And we tied a rope around one end and we tied the other end to my truck. And Mark climbed in the dumpster and he like propped up the end and we pulled that shit out. And then we would drive home with 2 at a time, sticking out 6 feet in back of the bed. And the next morning we'd cut that shit straight up with a chainsaw, split it finer, toss it in the wood stove. It burns, guys. And when you're cold, it burns. Anything burns. So this guy is just a fucking dumbass. You know, he's just a fucking dumbass. And he wanted a deal the whole time. And he was basically, you know, he does this under threat or implication of leaving me a bad review. Because unfortunately on Kijiji now, which is like Craigslist, but it's like half a step above. But unfortunately you can leave reviews. But it's good because not only can the customers leave reviews, but the sellers can leave reviews on the customers. So it's a two-way street. So look, even if he gives me a bad review, I don't give a fuck. Customers are going to give you bad reviews. And the thing is, even if I wanted to fucking help this guy, if I wanted, you know, right away you kind of want to like instinctively be like, oh, you know, I'm sorry, I'm going to give you some more wood. Let's say I really were sorry. Let's say it were my bad. Let's say I tried to fucking rip him off and he caught me. First of all, I don't have any more dry wood. It's the driest wood I have. So you're not getting any more. Also, he knows this. So he's a fucker and he's lying because he knows that the only thing I could do for him is give him more of the same wood, and apparently the same wood is under par. And yet he still wants more of the same. And if I would have given him more of the same, he would have complained about the quality again. So he still would have fucking complained to me. Even if I would have delivered 2 fucking cords to his house for free, he still would have complained. And he would have said, you know, I had to call him and, you know, the wood was no good, and then I had to get him to deliver more, and that wood was no good. Like, you know, they can say whatever the fuck they want. So, like, you know, I let him have the fucking last word because he thought I was going to offer him something for free. But I'm not giving you shit for free. And in retrospect, what I probably should have said, I should have called his bluff and said, you know what, if it's so bad, then bring it back here and I'll buy it back off you. But here's the other thing too. Mark is very perceptive. Mark is extremely street smart. But what Mark knows that happened is that there wasn't even a problem with the wood. The guy hit me up fucking 10 days after he bought it, and as Mark said, he probably went through most of it. And he wanted more, but he didn't want to fucking pay for more. So he started haggling for a fucking better deal. And, he even saw my yard. He saw where all the wood was. He saw my selection. He knows what I have. Yet he comes fucking foaming at the mouth on the fucking warpath because he just wants a better deal. He wants a better deal. That's it. And then at the end, he says, I gave you a chance. I paid. This is another trap, guys. Okay? Like, oh man, you must think I was fucking born yesterday, motherfucker. But and then you ask them, you say, okay, well, why'd you pay like such a high inflated price? Like from like a little like backyard garage guy like me. And they say, oh, because I wanted to give you a chance and you seemed like a good guy and you threw it back in my face. Nice try, man. That guilt trip won't work on me. But, on the plus side, you have, if you're watching this, you have all those logs. And, well, if they don't burn, you can just fucking stick them up your ass. So, I hope this helps, guys. Have a great day. See you soon.